Hello and welcome to Cavs Daily, your one-stop shop for everything Cavalier related. I'm your host Paul Williams. We are presented by FanArc and we are here to talk about everything Cavs, NBA, basketball, and who knows, even sports related. So I appreciate you guys checking this out. Please, if you could subscribe, comment, and share. And with that out the way, let's get to the first topic of the day, which is which players still kind of make you feel nervous when you see them in a playoff game, or that you just don't feel 100% confident right now, knowing this is going to be a guy you have to depend on going into the playoffs? Or do you feel good and trust every guy that's going to be in our rotation? That could be possible too. For me, I do have some trust issues. I mean, maybe in other parts of life as well. But when it comes to the Cavs and some individual players, and when it comes to playoff time and when it really matters, there's a few guys that I still do need to see more from before I can fully say that I'm bought in that they can play the role we need them to play in order to be a championship team. And with that little intro and explanation, I'll just start with what to some that's been around for a while might seem obvious to Jared Allen. He's a great player. I love him. I said top 10 before. He's probably top 7 centers in the league. Whenever one of our big four are out, Jared Allen always seems to put up crazy numbers. He's had double streaks that are historic in the Cavs franchise, and he's done a lot for this Cavaliers franchise, helped turn them around. But when it comes to playoffs, his, I guess, record and his background isn't the best, as his first go around, well, at least with the Cavaliers, he did play in one playoff series when he played for the Brooklyn Nets as well. But as far as with the Cavaliers, with a big role, his first playoffs were the 2022-23 playoffs, the infamous quote by Jared Allen about the lights being too bright. And yeah, that has, I think, stuck with him to this day, and he just hasn't been able to shed it for a variety of reasons. The following year, he was playing pretty well in the couple games he did play when we played Orlando in the first round, but he went out early in that series and did not return. Didn't play against the Celtics in the next round as well, so I guess that's just a scratch. He never got to establish himself in the playoffs that year. And then the following year is this previous year, and he had his moments like he has in other playoff series, but just overall, and especially in game 4 and 5 of the Indiana Pacers series, he was just nowhere to be found. I think he had 11 points and 6 rebounds combined in those 2 games, the final 2 games of the Cavs season, which is just, that's unacceptable. You cannot have that from one of your starters, a guy you're supposed to be depending on, especially in those moments when guys like Darius Garland were either out or hobbled. Even Evan Mobley wasn't 100% as he missed a game in that series. Same with DeAndre Hunter. They could have really counted on Jared Allen, and while he did have a solid game in the Pacers series, overall he just didn't do enough to change the fact that I still need to see more out of him going into the playoffs this season, obviously assuming we make the playoffs. But yes, Jared Allen is a guy that I do still have some trust issues with, but he also is my guy, and I do like him a lot, and I have confidence he can deliver when we need him. I just need to see it because there's a bad taste from how the Pacers series ended. A couple other guys, and for various reasons. DeAndre Hunter showed some flashes in the playoffs this season, but he also dealt with some injury issues, and he also had a few stinkers of games. I think he went scoreless one game, and he just he wasn't the spark that we needed at times in the Pacers series, and I really like him as a player as well, and I think he has a lot more he can show. But I do want to see it again next year before I can really say uh, I feel good, not good, but I feel comfortable that he is the sixth man of a championship team. I mean, that's a big role. It's an important role. So gonna have to see it. And the other guys that I may not fully trust in the playoffs, I do trust Evan. I do trust Donovan. I trust Max Struess 100% of the playoffs. I guess Dean Wade I don't really trust because I don't think he'll be there, and even if he is on the court, who I mean, you might get some solid defense and maybe he'll knock down a shot, but the way he was left wide open in the playoffs when he did play this past season doesn't inspire much confidence because he was not knocking them down. So, yeah, those are just a couple players that I still I need to see more in the playoffs this year before I'm totally bought in on them. I do want to make it clear that I do like the guys, and I think they can be what we're talking about. I just need to see it a little bit more before I say that's 100% the situation. Now, getting off that for a second, let's get to the next topic of the day, which is, do the Cavs have one of the best benches in the league, or the best bench in the league, possibly? I was doing some thinking about that the past couple of days, and obviously some digging and looking at information as well. And I mean, the last couple of years, actually, the Cavs have been top five in bench scoring every season for the past two seasons. They were second overall in plus minus from their bench last season, and them and OKC were really close. They both were well over 1,200 total plus minus, while the next closest team in third for bench plus minus was more than 500 points less than the Cavaliers. So the Cavs bench, their shooting numbers last year were ridiculous. A lot of people didn't think they were sustainable with how they started early in the season, but they did continue. Most guys at least stayed solid. They might not have continued shooting 55% from three like some guys like Ty Jerome were early in the season, but yeah, the bench unit the past couple of years has been super solid. We did lose the guy I just mentioned, Ty Jerome, but I think we also made some upgrades as Lonzo Ball, I think, fills in perfectly for that. I would honestly trade Ty Jerome straight up for Lonzo Ball for this team. Of course, I know injury, blah blah blah. I'm saying on the court, the better fit, the better player to me is Lonzo Ball, and right now he's healthy, so we'll see what happens. And as far as this year's bench, besides Jerome, Isaac Okoro was the only other loss, which I don't think is that big of a piece with having guys like DeAndre Hunter ready to go, even Jalen Tyson maybe to take a role. So I feel good about our bench, even after a few minor changes, and now with our bench looking like Lonzo Ball, Sam Merrill, Larry Nance, I mean, Jalen Tyson, Dean Wade, obviously the six man of the year favorite, DeAndre Hunter. We have a really solid deep bench, and we have a versatile bench. I think we could pick up one more big maybe that could play some spot minutes, but besides that, I think our bench is pretty rock solid. There's not too many holes there. I think Sam Merrill, Larry Nance, DeAndre Hunter, they will play very well off Lonzo Ball if those four are on the court at times with maybe one other starter, maybe an Evan Mobley, or if you want to go small, Donovan remain on the court. I think that could be lethal. Lonzo Ball would definitely be getting those guys open looks. Larry Nance can now knock down the three, which expands his game a lot. And I just think the pieces we already had meshing with Lonzo and Larry Nance is going to be a very, very good bench. And I think we'll be better than last season's bench, actually, overall, especially when it matters in the playoffs. I think this bench will contribute more in the playoffs than our benches have the last couple of years, even if they have been highly rated in the regular season. So I'm feeling really good about our bench going into the season. Of course, injuries are going to play a big factor in how that actually turns out. But all we can do is look at what we have right now, and I think that is a very solid bench. And on the topic of the bench, it kind of meshes right into the next topic, which is rattling off the names I just did with also Craig Porter and Dean Wade and Jalen Tyson mixed in with that. Just those are all the bench guys, and then you add in to me the best starting five in the NBA when healthy, of course. I think the Cavs might be the deepest team in the league. We can easily go 10 deep. I mean, we went 10 deep a lot last year. Our guys, our stars and our starters played the lowest combined amount of minutes in the league. We didn't have a guy averaging over 30.7, I think, minutes per game last season. The cutback in minutes our starters and our stars received last year was just a big reflection to me on the depth of this team with just, I mean, guys up and down the roster that really can affect a game and really can be an impactful player within their role. And those roles can matter. Besides the starting five and the top bench guys like Lonzo Ball and DeAndre Hunter, I mean, just having guys like I think our Dean Wade would be like our 11th man. I think when I did the importance ratings, I, and rankings, I think Dean Wade was 11th or 12th, and on a lot of teams he would play if he's healthy. He would play. I mean, he started on some renditions of this team in the last couple of years, and I truly think he's should probably be our 10th or 11th man. Jalen Tyson, I think, could get real playing time on a lot of teams, but on this team, maybe because of injury, but outside of that, it would be tough for him to get minutes. There's just a lot of good players on this team and a lot of players you can rely on. And that's why we were so successful in the regular season last year, even when guys were out and we didn't have our full squad. We had so many capable players ready to go and ready to step in that we really didn't skip a beat. That doesn't mean I ever want to not have our full roster of guys, but it is good to know that we do have backups if needed. So I will say that, yes, I do think the Cavs have the deepest roster in the league. If I'm wrong, please let me know. If you're not, if I mean, there's only a couple teams you could even compare to say if they're close to the Cavs, but I'm going with the Cavs. If anyone else has any other ideas, let me know and we will talk about it. Just like we're about to talk about the last topic of the day, which is, do the Cavs have a rival at this very moment? We've had rivals in the past, obviously. One of the greatest, if not the greatest, at least modern for sure, rivalry in NBA history when the Cavs and Warriors were going at it for 4 years straight. But that's kind of wore down. I think the Cavs may hold on or may hold up their end of making the finals, but I don't think the Warriors are going to, so I don't think we'll see that respark anytime soon. I think we're definitely going at it and building one with Boston the last couple of years, but with them now being pretty injury riddled and kind of out of contention for at least a year or two, it's looking like that. it's hard to say that they're a rival. The Pistons were a rival at one point, but they've been so bad for so long. It's hard to call them a rival. And yeah, I don't know who the Cavs' rival would be right now. I guess it's the Knicks, maybe. I mean, we haven't really like faced off in a big series in a while. We the only team we've I mean, there's not a team we've played more than once in the playoffs with this squad. So there hasn't been a lot of opportunity to build a big rivalry. I think regular season games, if you include those, then that just adds even more to the Boston rivalry because we did go at it with them a lot in the regular season over the past couple of years. There are a lot of great games just from last year's comeback or a couple of years ago when Dean Wade dropped 20 something in the fourth quarter and we came back after Grant Williams promised he was about to hit a couple free throws that he did not hit, and he's probably still thinks about that to this day. But that's besides the point. I don't know if the Cavs really have a rival at this very moment, but even with injuries, I'd have to say it's the Celtics right now. I wish a team from like our division, the Central, maybe the Bucks or the Bulls or the Pistons could step up and be our rival, but I just don't see it. The Pacers also dealing with injuries, so I guess it'd be the Celtics if you want to call it that. But I mean, the Celtics don't really seem like they're going to compete with us for a while. I respect Jalen Brown a lot, and again, I wouldn't mind if he wants to come over to the Wine and Gold at some point. You're welcome. But besides that, no one on the Celtics really scare me. So if it's still us and them being a rival, then I guess I'll just enjoy us having the upper hand in that for the next couple years at least, because that's what it's looking like at this very moment. And with that, at this very moment, we're going to wrap things up for the day and for this episode. As always, I appreciate it more than you guys know for hanging around. And if you have any ideas or any topics you'd ever want to talk about, please let me know and I will make it happen. And until I hopefully see you guys all tomorrow, thanks again and have a great evening.